Hey, I'm Simona Costantini, and I'm obsessed with helping you heal, connect to your purpose, and teaching you about all things mindset. I realized I deserved and wanted more from this crazy little thing called life, so I changed my beliefs, healed my hurt, and made it my mission to help you do the same. I'm a recovering people pleaser turned life coach and podcast producer. I teach busy business owners how to fall in love with their life and business and live it on their terms. On this show, you get everything raw and real, from inspirational guest interviews to deep dives into topics like life, relationships, business, purpose, growth, and mindset. I lay it all on the line every time. Think of this as your one-stop shop to help you live a more purposeful and inspired life. This is the Happiness Happens podcast. Are you ready to hear this inspiring conversation? Let's dive on in. Hello and welcome to this week's episode on the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm so excited to have you here for this solo episode today. We are talking all about 3 ways to make empowered decisions that promote change. I want to first start off with a listener review from Love Insta. I love that handle, by the way. The listener review says, amazing podcast. I love Simona's mindset, her creativity, and energy. This podcast brings my day to the next level every time I listen to it. Keep them coming. Thank you so much for leaving this incredible review. It's so empowering to read this, and I'm so glad that the podcast brings your day to the next level every time you tune in. You know, if you've been following along the journey for a while, that my goal is to always bring you amazing content, so I'm super glad to hear that it's really helpful for you. You can also leave, if you're listening to the podcast right now, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast app and rate it 5 stars. And if you're on Apple, and all of your reviews and comments allow the show to grow into the hands of the people who need to hear these messages. So it's really important. You may not understand totally why it's important, but ratings and reviews are so important to the podcasting community. Okay, moving on to our episode today. Today, I want to talk about self-empowerment and how it contributes to change. Things move and change so quickly. It can be so difficult to navigate that change and to tend to your mental health in the process, your physical health and your spiritual needs, and to really know which step that you want to take next. So, as we've experienced over this past year, the only constant thing that we're guaranteed is movement and change. You can plan everything for your life. You can plan out months and years ahead, but things will always change. That is a guarantee. You and your business are always growing, you're always changing, you're always transforming. So I really wanted to highlight today 3 different ways to make empowered decisions that promote and support change in your life and in your business. The first point that I want to touch on is taking care of yourself and being open to any possibilities. You know that I believe first and foremost in mindset. Your mindset is your most powerful asset. But deeper than that, though, your mindset is the set of beliefs that you have about yourself, who you are, what you stand for, and what makes you unique. If we take that even a layer deeper, your beliefs about yourself really dictate so much about how worthy you feel about what you have and what you can achieve, right? So the stories that you believe to be true about yourself, they'll either, inspire you to take that action or hinder you in reaching that next goal or that next step. So the stories that are playing in your mind of your worthiness, of what you believe about yourself, what you believe to be true, are so important because those are the stories that play out in your mind on repeat and then form your actions and transform into what you put out on a daily basis. So if you're feeling unworthy or that you won't be able to do it, you're not going to be able to do it. Your mind has already made that up for you. Your mind has already made up your truth because of the story that plays in your head over and over and over again. So my first tip to making empowered decisions that promote change is really putting your self-care at the forefront. I don't mean having a bath, lighting some candles, turning on your essential oils, and like sitting there and watching Netflix. Although those can all be self-care in some capacity. But what I really mean is digging deep, getting and taking that mental health day, turning your computer off at the end of the day when you said you're going to, putting boundaries around your client work, when you respond to messages, when you record your podcast, when you're on your social media, when you're creating content, and your calendar in general, putting those boundaries around what exactly you are allowing your time to be spent doing, and not being so available for people and putting so much of yourself out there. It's really thinking about what your boundary is and how much you're willing to give to other people, and how much of that time is taking away from your core energy. On the flip side of that, though, it's really about being open to every single possibility, that in every single changing moment, there's a reason why this particular thing is happening. Although we don't always know the reason why in the moment, we always get to see it once we get through it. And this can be a really challenging thing to sit in, right? Because a lot of the times we sit in different scenarios and we sit in different parts of our life where we're not thrilled to be in this particular moment right now. We want the next thing. We want to move on. We want to grow. We want to heal. But that particular thing is happening for a reason. So I encourage you to create the time and the space in your life to be able to put that boundary and understand, what it is that your soul needs right now. What is it that is going to make you, feel more empowered? How will you be able to be open to more possibilities? What do you need to heal right now, or at least acknowledge that's happening within you? And, how do you start to heal that, right? How do you start to let that grow into something that allows you to be open to all the different possibilities, instead of worrying how it's all going to work out? So by choosing to prioritize yourself, you can then pour back into your own cup, and then you start building the resilient mindset that you need to navigate that change and to still be able to be open to any and all possibilities that come your way. Okay, the second one that I want to touch on is understanding what your goals are and why they're important. Okay, this is something that I talk about so much. You have your goals, but why? Why are these particular goals so important to you? What does it mean to you, to your family, to your loved ones, to your clients, to your business if you achieve them? Right? So I always think about the why. Why is the most important thing that you will ever ask yourself? Remembering your why is so crucial, and it's so important because that's what will carry you through the different rough patches, right? So whether your goal is to get your business to 6 figures, to have consistent clients, or to really start up your own podcast and watch that grow, your own YouTube channel, whatever it is, whatever that goal is, understand why you're doing it at the end of the day. What is accomplishing this specific goal going to bring you in your life, and how are you going to be able to transform that into action? And ultimately, how are you supporting that action with the steps that you're going to take to get there, right? On the flip side of this, there's this thing called busy work. It's filling your time with things that are not aligned or are not contributing to your bigger goal. Busy work happens when we feel like we need to be doing all of the different things, and that we need to be accomplishing all of this different stuff in order to feel successful. But the problem with busy work is that busy work comes in to fill a void, or to fill a thought about yourself, or a pattern or a belief about yourself that perhaps you're not good enough, perhaps you don't know what you're doing. You're worried about being seen in a big way. You're worried about being seen online. You don't know if your message is going to resonate. So we fill our calendar with busy work. And what happens is you fill your time with all of these different things that are not aligning and are not contributing to the bigger goal. So when you're doing all of this busy work, and when you're filling your calendar with things that aren't going to take you to that next level, or time to plan and to explore what that next level even is for you, you're telling the universe that you are not ready. You're telling the universe that you don't have time. You're telling the universe that you are not a priority. So what you get in exchange for that is the universe supporting your thoughts and beliefs of, okay, this person is not ready. This person does not have the time. They don't really want this. So thinking about what your goals are and why allows you to properly align them, and then align your tasks to your bigger why, to your bigger vision, to your bigger mission. and understanding exactly where you want to go and making space in your calendar to strategically do those specific tasks. And then you're opening up so much more possibility, right, from the first point. So when you're aligning your why and your actions and your intentions, you're supporting your overall self-care because you're creating boundaries around your life and around your time and around your space, ultimately allowing you to have more possibility and be open and willing to receive more, which is such an incredible feeling to happen. My last tip here is taking action. Don't wait for that moment to pass you by. One of the best things that I've ever done in my business, right from the get-go, right from the start, was always taking messy action and launching things before they were perfect. Did I change my mind? Absolutely. Did I launch things that were out of alignment? Yes, I did. Did I do things because I thought that was what I should do instead of what I wanted to do? Absolutely. But I never would have gotten to this place, and I never would have learned those lessons if I didn't jump in face first, dump 2 feet in at the same time, and take that messy action and really step into what it was that I wanted for myself, and ignoring the noise around me, ignoring what people had to say, and really stepping in and jumping in with both feet to really creating the reality that I wanted for myself. There is no such thing as perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. So when you tune in, when you take care of yourself, when you understand what your goals are and where you're headed, you're then taking action from that aligned place, and you're betting on yourself, right? You're giving yourself this opportunity to believe and trust in your dreams, that what you want for yourself, it really isn't that far out of reach. You just have to align your mindset, your beliefs about yourself to your actions and your intentions, and you will get to where you want to go. But it really comes down to building that resilient mindset. And it's so important to have that strong belief in yourself, right? You're learning, you're growing, and you're giving yourself the chance to expand into something that's unknown and being open to any possibilities that come your way. So, these are my 3 tips for making empowered decisions that promote change. I'm going to recap really quick. The first one is taking care of yourself and being open to any possibilities. The second one is understanding what your goals are and why they're important to you. The third one is taking action. Don't wait for that moment to pass you by. Don't wait for it to be gone. Take action and do it now. Do it today. Start today. I would love to know which one out of the 3 resonates the most with you, and which one you found most thought-provoking, if you will. You can let me know on Instagram, and the handle for the podcast is at Happiness Happens Podcast on Instagram, or you can also connect with me on my personal Instagram if we're connected there. It's at Simona with 2 underscores Costantini. It's going to be in the show notes though, so you can just click on them and connect with me there. Please feel free to rate and review the show if you love this episode. Be sure to share it with someone you know needs to hear this message. I'm so excited to see you back here for the next episode. And remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it. Well, it looks like we have made it to the end of this episode. I'm so proud of you for tuning into this episode, and I'm so grateful that you joined me in this incredible conversation. I would be so grateful if you took a quick second to rate and review the podcast and let me know what you loved the most. I also love hearing from you, and I would love to know your thoughts on this episode. So feel free to tag me online or let me know that you're listening. I'm so excited to connect with you. Wishing you a beautiful day ahead, and remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.